I'm not really a fan of the Saw films, but this one looked different. So here we go. So Spiral is the 9th Saw film, and oh my god, it just hit me. 9 Saw movies. 9. Holy shit. But anyways, in Spiral, we follow a character named Ezekiel Banks, played by Chris Rock, who is a cop that doesn't really get along with his fellow officers. However, one of his fellow officers gets killed, but the way he gets killed is the same manner of a bunch of grisly murders that happened years ago. It turns out that there might be a copycat jigsaw killer. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Spiral.
Excellent!
Starting off, I have to give credit where credit is due. In terms of a Saw film, one thing that I really appreciate about Spiral is that it seems that the filmmakers are trying to break away from the tradition of the Saw films, which is the traps, but going back and onto the roots of the original Saw film, which was a cop mystery thriller horror flick. And like I mentioned earlier, as a person that hasn't been a big fan of the Saw films, I appreciate that they were trying to do something different than just people being tortured the whole time. Also, in terms of the performances, I liked Chris Rock, especially at first. He has an amazing monologue, and afterwards, he was enjoyable in spots, I felt like. And also, of course, Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie, and when he is in the movie, he's entertaining. That's for a certain. In terms of the technical aspects, Spiral is easily the best looking Saw film. It definitely seems that there was actually, not only in terms of a story perspective, but in terms of cinematography, production design, it seemed like they were actually trying to do something different, but also make a well-made Saw film, to which, hey, I appreciate that a lot. In terms of the traps, there was actually one trap that I just thought, okay, that's actually really cool. Spiral at 93 minutes speeds right by.
Well, that's just fucking great!
Like I had mentioned earlier, Saw is a franchise that I particularly have not been a big fan of. And actually, as a matter of fact, Saw is one of my least favorite film franchises out there for a couple of reasons, but the biggest one might piss off a lot of Saw fans, but this is just how I feel. I completely get that Saw is categorized as a horror film, or a horror film franchise, I should say. But in my eyes, Saw was never horror. Saw to me was nothing more than torture porn. Torture is terrifying, but the way that Saw did it never particularly scared me. I love the horror film genre. The horror film genre is my favorite genre of all time. I need a good story and I need characters to relate to. Saw never had that for me. I mean, the original Saw had a pretty cool story with characters that I actually became attached to. Starting with Saw 2 and everything after that, well, to be full clarification, guys, before I go on, I have not seen every Saw film. I have only seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 3D, and this one. Saw as a horror film fan never appealed to me whatsoever. Do not get me wrong. There are some very creative traps throughout the Saw film franchise. I will not deny that. But at the same time, Saw just never scared me. I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, so you're not a fan. Why did you even bother seeing Spiral? That's because when I saw the trailer, it looked like it was going to be different. Spiral looked like it was giving off the vibes of 7, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, meets the original Saw, which is the only Saw film that I actually enjoy. So seeing that in the Spiral trailer, I just thought, okay, maybe Spiral is finally the film that converts me into a Saw fan. But unfortunately, like the other Saw films, I did not like Spiral. There are 2 glaring issues that I have with Spiral. Spiral, to me, when I saw that trailer, it felt like it was going to be a combination of 7 meets the original Saw, so a cop drama meets a horror thriller film. When it came to the cop drama aspect of this film, the cop drama aspect of Spiral was not only cliche as can be, but it was so uneventful despite the tension in this movie, to which I'll get into later. And not only was the story so freaking cliched, but also when it came to the characters, especially when it came to Chris Rock's character's backstory, not only was it a typical character cop that happened to be living in his father's shadow, But the characterization, when it came to the backstories, everything was told in flashbacks that pretty much ended in an instant like that. So because of that, there is essentially no attachment that I had with any of these characters, not even with Samuel Jackson. I did not care for what was going on. Chris Rock, after a great introduction, I mean, his introduction was awesome. But after that, it's like his character just became less and less interesting as time went on. Samuel Jackson is definitely entertaining in this movie, but he is maybe in the movie for like 5, if I'm being generous, 10 minutes. Even worse, and I cannot believe I'm about to say this, and I can't believe I even thought about this watching the film. The cop drama aspect was not only so cliched and honestly kind of boring, that I wish that there were more traps in this movie. The other glaring issue is this. This is a Saw film, so you'd expect with a Saw film that there would be traps. There were maybe 4 or 5 traps in this entire film, and only one out of those 5 traps I thought was memorable. Everything else was either just forgettable the moment that they ended, or they were laughably done. Like, for example, the first trap that I saw involving a train, the way how this person was reacting to everything, I was laughing hysterically at the acting on display. So essentially, what you're going back and forth with is this. You're too far deep into this case, you're too far deep into it. Oh my god! Stop it, Zeke, you're getting too far involved into this thing. Oh my god! Zeke, you're getting too emotional with this. Oh my god! That's essentially what this movie is. You're either watching people screaming at each other, or you're watching people screaming while they're being tortured. With the intensity, Spiral is always way, way up. Spiral from start to finish is always very intense. But at no certain point did I ever feel that intensity. Spiral, to be completely honest with you guys, felt very uneventful, and it felt very uninvolving too, as a matter of fact. I found Spiral for the most part to be kind of boring in all honesty. As you all know, Saw has always had that big plot twist. As I was watching this film, a buddy of mine said one particular thing, and right when I finished the film, I said to him, "How did you fucking know that? Oh my god." That's how cliched this movie is. The worst sin that this movie commits as a horror film, it was not scary at all. And then there's the ending. All I'm gonna say is this. That ending was just stupid.
And here we go.
So overall, I really wanted to like Spiral. But unfortunately, Spiral showed me once again why I am not a fan of the Saw franchise. Spiral does try to do something different with the franchise. Ultimately though, when it came down to the execution for me, Spiral not only came off as a generic and cliched cop drama, but when it came down to the Saw side, 4 out of the 5 traps that were featured just were not memorable whatsoever. I saw that trailer and I was hoping to be converted into a Saw fan, looking forward to the future of the films, but Spiral just did not do it for me. I was not a fan of this film, so all in all, I'm going to give Spiral a 1.5 out of 5 stars. Alrighty guys, so comment down below and let me know, what is your favorite Saw film out there? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat and Stardust. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Spiral. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell whenever the latest video of mine goes live. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click either right there or there. And of course, until my next video or review, I will see you all next time.